You're watching Dog Eared Musings, and I'm Monika. Today we're going to be doing a book review of the psychological thriller written by Calla Henkel called Other People's Clothes. Henkel is a writer, director, artist, playwright. She does a lot of things, and she also has like this really cool bar performance art space, and apparently also it's a film studio called TV Berlin. Henkel is kind of immersed in the art scene that is in Berlin, which is really interesting because the book Other People's Clothes kind of is a satirical, dark humorized take on this scene, which it appears that Henkel is like very much immersed into. What is this book about? So after her best friend dies and her boyfriend cheats on her, and surrounded in an art school with annoying art school bros, Zoe decides that she needs to escape her life in New York, and she opts for a study abroad period in Berlin. In Berlin, her and her roommate immerse themselves into the club scene, where they're constantly getting thrown out of clubs, trying to make connections with gallery curators, trying to be it girls in the scene, but they're just too American. And that's when they also find out that things in their apartment start to go missing, and they feel like they're being watched. So, what are the cons? In a lot of reviews that I've read about this book, people kind of talked about the unlikable nature of the characters. They're kind of the worst people that you would meet in art school. And I think that that's the point that Henkel is trying to make. At times, though, the characters do get a little grating, but ultimately I didn't find it super unenjoyable to read characters that I disliked, and it actually made the story a bit more interesting. Another thing to point out is that some readers might find the pace a little bit slow, especially when comparing it with other contemporary thrillers or domestic thrillers. Other People's Clothes kind of has pace spaces that kind of extend out. Now, I really enjoyed this because I think that it kind of lends itself to being able to describe more of the atmosphere and scene as well as the characters. But if you're a reader who finds themselves more interested in plot, you might find yourself feeling a little bit frustrated about the pacing. But it's all for a reason, because these kind of drawn out places in the book kind of symbolize situations where the characters are waiting and feeling bored, and kind of puts the reader in that same spot. Ultimately, I thought it was done well, but I could see why somebody would say that the plot kind of draws things out a little bit too much. So what are the pros? Well, like I keep on mentioning, Henkel does dark humor really well. I'm just thinking about satire and the world that she builds. Henkel really knows the subject that she's talking about, and she describes it in a way that is really tongue-in-cheek and kind of goofy. Also, because Henkel knows the art world so well, it is really immersive. You really feel like you're in Berlin. You feel like you're in these crazy parties, in these art galleries, at funerals, stuck in prison. She puts you in all of these scenes, and sometimes you really want to get out, and sometimes it's okay. I think that's finally like the best thing that you could have in a thriller is that it's not predictable. There aren't like too many twists and turns in this book, but the ones that are there, I had no idea that they were coming. And the ending, I'm not going to spoil it, but there was a twist at the end that I'm still thinking about. And if you've read this book and you want to talk to me about it, I have thoughts, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But you can feel free and message me. And don't spoil it for anyone below, but you can message me about it if you have feelings about the ending too. So who would I recommend this book to? Well, the first book that came to mind is the book by Mona Awad, which is called Bunny. Now, Bunny, I think, came out 2 summers ago, and when it came out, I remember most people thinking, oh my gosh, what did I just read? And once I finished Other People's Clothes, that's kind of the same sentiment that I had. Similarly to Other People's Clothes, in Bunny, Awad kind of pokes fun at the MFA programs and creative writing and kind of cliques that happen within graduate school and the creative arts. It's got that kind of gritty, dark academia without being dark academia vibe that people might find kind of in that same vein. Another book that I think is kind of similar is Otessa Moshfegh's My Year of Rest and Relaxation. So in this book, it follows a character who kind of goes through a traumatic experience and decides that she wants to spend the rest of the year not leaving her bed, just sleeping. And Moshfegh's main character in this book is also immersed in the art world. She is a assistant at an art gallery, so there's also this kind of like satirizing the art scene. And also, as people talk about Moshfegh's characters, all of her characters are unlikable, kind of the worst people you'd meet at a party. And it's very similar to the characters that Henkel writes in Other People's Clothes. All right, so if you're looking for a book that mixes the art world, clubbing scene, friendships, obsession, sapphic romance, then I would highly recommend reading the book Other People's Clothes. It's definitely a page turner. You might not leave your couch for 2 hours so that you can finish it. I need to move my hands more, apparently. That is Other People's Clothes. That is my review. And I'm Monika. You've been watching Dog Years Music. You've been watching Dog Year Musings. Happy readings.